Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are looking at SQL versus NoSQL databases, two major categories of data storage that suit different needs and workloads. If you are confused about which one to pick, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. First, let's talk about the SQL database at a glance. Let me make sure that the text is available. Yeah, the text is, yeah, you can see the text. So SQL databases use a structured query language and have a predefined schema. Think of it like spreadsheet. Columns are fixed, and each row must fit that structure. And since I said there is a column and rows, I guess it's pretty obvious SQL databases are in tables. So there is a column and there is a row. There are some key highlights that we need to talk about when it comes to SQL databases. First, the complex queries. Um, SQL is powerful for performing joins, aggregations, and filtering. Excellent for analyzing relationships in your data. Next thing that we need to talk about with the asset compliance. Ensure atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, crucial for financial transactions or any system where data integrity is really, really important. Also, there is the third one, which is the structured data. So ideally, if your data structure is unlikely to change and you require rigid schema enforcement, you will use SQL. Like common SQL databases include like MySQL, Postgres, and and other things as well, which provide robust, reliable storage and powerful querying capabilities. Okay, let's talk about NoSQL databases at a glance. Okay, I guess if we broke the line, it will be better. Yeah, I guess you can see this. Okay, you can see it even better. So, NoSQL databases offer a more flexible schema-less approach. And instead of forcing data into a rigid table structure, they can handle unstructured or semi-structured data more gracefully. There are some key highlights about them. The first thing will be the big data. So basically, NoSQL can handle large volumes of structured and unstructured data. Great for real-time analysis or event logs. Also, the other thing that we need to talk about, which is the rapid development. Um, the schema-less nature allows quick iterations. You don't have to run complex migrations for new fields. And lastly, scalability. Like often designed for horizontal scaling, letting you add more servers as your data grows. Popular NoSQL databases include like MongoDB, which is a document-based, Cassandra, which is a wide column, and Redis, which is a key value store, all known for their flexibility and high throughput. Okay, let's try to talk about pros and cons. So first, let's start with the SQL pros. Okay, so in the SQL pros, we will think first powerful querying because advanced joins, groupings, and aggregates. Number two, structured schema, like a clear data validation, making it easy to keep data consistent. Number three, mature ecosystem, like decades of tooling, expertise, and support as well. And it has a huge community. And also, I would say by default, you will go working with SQL database, but we will talk about this more in the end of this video. In terms of the cons, first we have rigid schema, like harder to adopt if your data structure changes frequently. Number two, vertical scaling. Like many SQL systems rely on scaling up instead of out. Though modern solutions of clustering or offer clustering, which can handle massive amount of data. Number three, complex for large scale, like setting up sharding or replication can be really tricky. Okay, let's talk about the NoSQL pros. So first, flexibility, because a schema-less or flexible schema adapt to changing data. Number two, horizontal scaling, because it's easier to distribute data across multiple nodes. Number three, performance, like great for high write, high read loads with fewer complex joins. Okay, let's talk about the cons of the NoSQL database. First, weaker query capabilities. Many NoSQL solutions lack complex joins operations. Number two, eventual consistency, like some rely on eventual consistency, which may not suit financial or critical apps. Number three, less mature ecosystem. Though growing rapidly, some areas like advanced analytics may lag behind SQL's maturity. Okay, I guess next thing, which I guess you all waiting for this one, is when to choose what, like when to choose the right database for you. So, picking between SQL and NoSQL depends on first the data model. Do you have a structured tabular data with complex relationships or unstructured data with changes frequently? Also, scalability requirements, like do you need to handle massive traffic of or data volumes that require horizontal scaling? Number three, consistency model. Is immediate consistency, which is a property, a must, or can your app handle eventual consistency? Many modern systems use a mix of SQL and NoSQL for transactions, and a NoSQL to store or for analytics, or maybe user sessions. Also, I would say by default you will use SQL, but there are some conditions where going with NoSQL is better. First, if you have a huge amount of data, like let's say that you are creating a chat application and you have like billions of messages every day, so it's a good idea to go with a NoSQL approach. Number two, if you're not that sure of the data structure yet, or if your data is semi-structured and doesn't have that many relationships, you go with NoSQL. Also, I guess if you basically don't like, if the asset properties or like the integrity is not that important with you, you can go with NoSQL. I guess by default, other case, but otherwise by default you will go with SQL database, because yeah, it is how it works. Okay, so I guess we can just go to our conclusion. So in yeah, that's SQL versus NoSQL. In a nutshell, SQL databases are all about structured queries and asset guarantees, while NoSQL databases focuses on flexibility and scalability. Choose the one that fits your data model, consistency needs, and performance goal, or combine them for the best of both worlds. If this video helped clarify your decision, give it a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, yeah, see you soon, and keep your data organized.